guys, Shawn right here for Generation Iron News Break. Just the other day I was checking out surfing social media, and four-time Olympia Physique champion Jeremy Buendia was giving a little bit of a speech over in the Philippines, just kind of making it abundantly clear that the popularity and the growth of men's physique and women's bikini is abundantly huge at the moment. Lots of numbers, lots of money being generated, but in the process, didn't mince words in stating that the bodybuilding was fading over the past 6 or 7 years, and a few bodybuilders have been very vocal about Jeremy even commenting on the decline, the demise, or the non-popularity of professional bodybuilding, as it were. But like basketball, like football, bodybuilding's seen its peaks and valleys. Some of the bodybuilders came out to remind Jeremy that without bodybuilding, there is no men's physique. It seemed that Jeremy was trying to make a point that men's physique, classic physique, women's bikini are all very popular and will be remembered for years to come. While the bodybuilders that took homage to what Jeremy was trying to say pretty much were very clear that, listen kid, relax. It's only been a few years that the men's physique has been around. Bodybuilding's been around for a very long time. As a matter of fact, in the 53-year history of the Olympia weekend, there's only been 13 Olympia champions, and these names are household names. When you talk about Larry Scott, Franco Columbu, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Serge Nubret, Dorian Yates, Lee Haney, Dexter Jackson, Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, and currently Phil Heath, not to mention, forget Frank Zane, Frank Zane and Samir Bannout and Chris Dickerson. Those are names that are immortalized, and several of those guys have only won one Olympia championship. Chris Dickerson, Samir Bannout, these guys, one time they won the Olympia. Their names are embedded in the history and the annals of bodybuilding forever, whereas the men's physique has only been around for, 4 or 5 years, and Jeremy's got 4 of those titles. Needless to say, Jeremy was spot on in the sense that bodybuilding is not as popular maybe as it once was, but again, we have peaks and we have valleys. Men's physique is very popular because it's more inclusive. More people can participate in men's physique and classic physique. More women can take to the stage in a bikini than they can in men's open bodybuilding. Just because the numbers are high doesn't necessarily mean that it's popular, so to speak. That's what the bodybuilders are saying. Not to mention, don't stand on the shoulders of the bodybuilders and put your foot on the neck and make it sound like they're not worthy. They're always worthy. As a matter of fact, Jeremy made a very clear point that the participation at watching the Arnold Classic at the Expo was huge. And didn't we notice the huge crowd? But let's keep one thing clear. For the price of an Expo admission ticket, you get to see the men's physique competitors on stage in an exhibit hall, many of whom are there to get free swag from some of the sponsors, hang out, mingle, and whatever for $50. But when it comes to the Olympia and the audience that's there to watch the men's bodybuilding, those guys pay a premium to see the very best bodybuilders in the world, and the only way you're going to see them is if you buy a ticket to the actual contest, which means the numbers are going to be considerably lower because it's held in an arena and not in an exhibit hall. Nevertheless, I made a point earlier this year that men's physique and men's bodybuilding may be the thing of the future in terms of conversation and its popularity. And right now, the gene pool in the future coming up is not all that ripe for the next generation of bodybuilders. I mean, we could be at a crescendo here with Phil Heath going for record-tying 8th Olympia championships this September with Lee Haney and Ronnie Coleman. But that doesn't mean that the sport of bodybuilding is going to be dead. Should Phil Heath win 8, 9, or 10 and disappear, it'll be the next generation of bodybuilders that carry the torch. Is men's bodybuilding going the way of women's bodybuilding? Will it disappear the way the 8-track tape did? Will physique and classic physique take over? Time will tell. But to verbalize that and make it sound like physique is superior to men's bodybuilding, a lot of the bodybuilders took homage with that. They're not happy about it. And least of all, coming from someone that's only been training and winning for the past 4 years. He's been involved with the sport for 10 years. Started out bodybuilding, Jeremy did, but he had some points. I think the form in which he was talking, he should stick to talking about the popularity of physique and maybe classic physique and bikini, and leave the bodybuilding conversation to the bodybuilders. That's where the bodybuilders are coming from. Don't talk about what you don't know in terms of what it's like being a bodybuilder if you're not bodybuilding. That's where the bodybuilders are coming from. I don't think Phil Heath has chimed in. I don't think he needs to. I think, like Jeremy said, the numbers speak for themselves in terms of participation. Does it mean it's better than men's bodybuilding? It's a very subjective sport of opinion. Time will tell whether men's bodybuilding lasts or it doesn't last. But one thing's for sure, and some of the bodybuilders had a point. If you have to pay a ticket to a men's physique contest or buy a ticket to the bodybuilding contest, what are those numbers going to look like when they're held separate and on their own in an arena? Will men's physique outsell open bodybuilding, Olympia style? Very interesting. I'd love to see these two contests held on two separate dates in separate venues and see where the ticket sales go. Very good conversation. Let's see what happens this September, because right now Jeremy Buendia has opened the door and threw down the gauntlet that he's the #1 physique guy to beat, coming off of a pec tear this year. Now he's got to defend the title. Those bodybuilders are going to have a whole lot to say come September. For Generation Iron, I'm Shawn Ray.